When we think of resilience, we often picture extraordinary acts. Those pivotal moments when someone confronts their fears and overcomes seemingly insurmountable challenges. It's the equivalent of the David and Goliath story, where the underdog triumphs against all odds. But sometimes the most compelling displays of resilience aren't in these grand gestures, but in the quiet, consistent acts that we often take for granted. These are the everyday victories that define our spirit, proving that it's not the absence of struggles, but our response to them that truly matters. It's easy to get caught up in the magnitude of someone's struggles and lose sight of the smaller victories that add up to an extraordinary whole. We see this especially with mental health. Just getting out of bed when you feel like giving up is a win. Taking a shower when you can't see the point of it is a win. Eating when you don't feel hungry is a win. But these wins are not celebrated. We do want to give ourselves permission to pat ourselves on the back for these daily acts of courage because they've become routine. We expect ourselves to be resilient, to pick ourselves up and carry on. And when we don't, we beat ourselves up for it. I was talking to a client recently and he told me about how his business was completely destroyed by a hurricane. His office, his equipment, everything was gone. But what was amazing was his attitude. He didn't sit and dwell in his misfortune. Instead, he started making plans. He started calling suppliers to check if they could offer him some short-term payment terms so he could start trading again. He started calling customers to let them know that, although he had no office, they could still reach him. He started working from his car, from his phone, from wherever he could. Within 12 months, he had rebuilt his entire business. Now, when I asked him what the secret was, he told me, "I just took one day at a time." When I probed further, he said, "Each day, I would make sure I do 5 new things to rebuild my business." Sometimes it was just sending 3 emails, but I knew that each day I was doing something towards rebuilding my business. Now, he didn't rebuild his business because one day he decided to be resilient. He did it because every day he did something that moved him closer to his goal. He didn't realize it at the time, but each day's small acts of bravery added up to an extraordinary outcome. Psychologists have known for a long time that the key to overcoming adversity is through small wins. Small wins are those little things you can achieve every day, no matter how small they seem. They're the stepping stones that help us keep moving forward when things get tough. It's easy to focus on the big picture, to get overwhelmed by the enormity of the challenges we face. But sometimes the best way to tackle the big stuff is to break it down into smaller, more manageable pieces. That's not to say that we shouldn't acknowledge or even celebrate the big wins. Of course we should. Those are the moments that keep us motivated, that give us the courage to keep going. But we should also celebrate the small, consistent acts of courage that define our spirit, that rebuild our lives, and move us forward in the face of adversity. The truth is, resilience isn't a moment in time. It's a collection of moments, a series of small wins that add up to an extraordinary whole. So let's take a moment to appreciate the small things, the daily acts of courage that we often take for granted. Let's celebrate the small wins that make us who we are. Let's build our lives, one small win at a time. As always, thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, please share it with others. Your support helps spread the message. Have a great day.